Hey, I'm Kelly Tyler from Speaker Insight. I help speakers, authors and coaches to grow a business on your terms. And I've just literally got off Des O'Connor's Women in Business stage in front of a few hundred women in the audience who were buzzing. They were just like sponges soaking up all the information from the experts on stage. We had about 20 speakers. So these ladies were just bombarded with opportunities to make an impact, earn more money and just stand in their power. So if you want to attend, because you're running business, this is the place to be, to soak up all the opportunities. And if you're somebody who wants to be a speaker, then Des gives you the opportunity, if you've got a message worth listening to, you can stand on his stage. So check out his packages and his coaching programs and the opportunity for you to impact hundreds of women in the audience.
Today on stage was great. I always love it, and I thought the audience were really receptive and they were really interested and wanting to learn and really wanting ideas and strategies for their businesses. And yeah, it was good energy in that room today.
It was a very sort of chilled audience, very non-judgmental. I was very nervous because of course it was my first time actually getting up live, but I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity.
So, you know, the response is fantastic. It's nice sometimes to attend an event where you've got lots and lots of new faces rather than just people who are regular event junkies.
You can't make decisions if you're not in the room, and being in the room is speaking on tech stages, allowing people to see your gift, whatever your gift may be, but how will people know about you if you're not visible? So I think speaking on stages is like one of the best ways to get your message out.
It was great. It was a really warm audience. It's a wonderful environment that was set up here. It's been organised wonderfully, and there were a number of really insightful and interesting speakers that I was learning stuff from different people as well.
I absolutely loved speaking on stage today, sharing a little bit of my story and my journey. The audience were fabulous. There was a lot of energy in the room, and I felt very, very connected to the audience. So it was a really good experience for me getting up on stage and doing that.
The level of professionalism is really high. The sound, the video, everything is like super high standards.
It's great to have like all that energy up there, and you know, he's very supportive. Basically the whole crew, everybody's amazing, and it's just a great opportunity to spread your message, whatever that is.
It's been a really amazing event, and I think all of the speakers who stepped on stage have got great exposure, great publicity, and it's a really amazing way for them to energise their personal brand.
Growing, learning, reading, making connections, and there's some people here that I used to see at some of those events as well. But I guarantee you keep coming along to events like this, you will connect with like-minded people.
It is something that you absolutely must do, and Des is the person to do it with because he makes you so relaxed at the thought and treats you well along the way.
Please contact Des O'Connor because he is the #1 coach for women in business.
It was the best event I had attended. There was so much value to be had at this free event that if you had to pay for the quality speakers, then it would have cost you a fortune. But you know, Des, this is one of his passions is getting women on stage.
It's amazing what speaking on the stage can do to your business and the confidence it gives you as a business owner.
I think if you want to be a speaker, you have to get out and speak, and this is definitely an opportunity to get out there and speak.
If you want to get up on the stage like I did today, there's just no question about it. The answer is do it.
So if you've got a business and you want to come, speak to Des, find out how he can help you, get you more empowered, get you on to talk to the world about what you do. It's a great experience.
I know what you're thinking. Is she worth listening to, or should I go and grab a cup of coffee and miss the loo break? Thanks, darling. I'm going to make it easy for you. If you're a speaker, author, or coach, and you want to make an impact, and you want to reach a wider audience, then stay seated. If you're not, then this is the time to go and grab a loo break, because I know how big that coffee queue was at the first break. It took us about an hour to get one cup of coffee. My background is I run a publishing house, I run a speaker agency, and I've run many coaching consultancies. So I know what it's like on the inside of the industry and what they are looking for from you if you want to be a speaker, author, or a coach. I'm also a speaker, author, and a coach. So I also empathize with you of how hard it is to run a business by yourself and stand out from the crowd. So in this short 20 minutes, I want to give you as much as I can. I'm not selling anything. I'm doing this because I have a real passion for experts to stand out. The wealth of knowledge, not just on the stage, but in the room from the people that I've spoken to. If I can help you reach your audience, then my job's done. That's tapping into my purpose of helping you stand out. Because if we all just made that impact, the world would be a completely different place. Look at some of these people. I hope you recognize some of these people. They are some very famous speakers, authors, and coaches from all around the world. Actually, just spend 30 seconds to a minute with the person next to you and tell them who you recognize and what stands out about those people. Just spend 1 minute now saying, who do you recognize and what do you recognize or remember about them? Okay, I think we might go on for a long while. Back in the room. Obviously, you recognize a few faces there. Okay, what I want to know, can you put your hands up if you are a speaker, author, or coach? Put your hands up. I want to see how many. Everyone look around the room. Wow, right? That's the predominant audience. And that's why I'm here today, because you are all competing against each other. You're in different industries, but how do you stand out? And Des has spoken this morning around being on this stage, being these presenters brings you that level up from a positioning point of view. But there are 3 key aspects that I want to go through today that I really want you to take note, and I'm available to support you afterwards. Because we're not all at the stage of the Tony Robbins. We can't claim that yet. But this is where I'm passionate. This is why I say I don't do a lot of speaking. I manage speakers. But I said, yes, Des, I will speak at your event. Because we don't have enough women on stage. We don't have enough women experts. When I Googled top speaker, author, and coaches, 20% of them were women. Why is that, right? So I want you, I give you a big round of applause for stepping into that women in business. And because we can support each other. That's the difference, is we support each other. But I now need you to stand out from the crowd. The good news is it's easy. If you want to be an author, it's easy now. You can self-publish. You can hybrid publish. In my group, the Facebook group I run, the Connection Hub, which please, we're all welcome to join, I put people in touch with publishers. Okay? You don't have to write that long proposal, wait for a traditional publisher to accept you, and then wait another 1.5 years to actually get your book out there. That's a great way, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can take the process and own it. You can have your book out in 3 months if you needed it to be. You don't have to be a professional speaker. You don't have to have spent thousands of pounds learning how to do timeline on stages and power positions and projection and voice projection. You can actually, if you're connected to your message and you're passionate, you'll touch hearts. You don't need polished presenting look. And that's why these events are awesome that Des is putting on, because he allows people to share the stage with him. And there are lots of events like this out there that you can grab opportunities. I have a directory that I give to people of over 200 stages you can speak at. And you just contact those people and do it, right? We give away all this information for free. So you don't have to be a professional speaker to speak on stage. And if you're a coach, it's really easy to be an entrepreneur in this 21st century. There is so much support to set your own business up, to be in control, to be your own boss. There are lots of services out there that can support you. So what I'm saying in this slide is that the barriers are much less for you all to step into your greatness. You can do this. And because you can do this, there's lots more competition because people are doing this. So not only do I want you to be the expert and craft and own your expertise, I want you to learn how to become an attraction magnet on top of that. How do you become the honeypot that attracts the bees to you and actually go, out of all those people that spoke on the stage, I remember that person. And how do you make that impact? Because I've got such a short space of time, I'm just going to work on 3 key points for you here, which when I manage people, these are the mistakes that I see them make. The first one is your story. And you would have seen from the speakers we've had today the difference on what the story makes. I mean, I was watching you all when Caroline was telling her story, right? I was watching you guys more than I was watching her. Because the way she described what time the phone call went off, the emotion she was feeling, what she'd been doing that day, the fact that she was the only weekend she hadn't seen her dad. You guys were hooked. If she had come onto the stage and go, hi, I'm a stress expert and I help people, it's all me, 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 me. So I want you to really own, craft, and work on your story. Mark said it about being passionate about his kids. Des said it about, having that support with his sisters, getting that feeling back. What's your story? Why do you do what you do? And then, don't verbal diarrhea that over people when you're networking. When someone says, what do not just tell them your whole life story. Okay? You have to have this as a real what it means to them, not what it means to you, and connect with them. So the way you would use your story, I want to see your story on your speaker bios. I want to see it on the back of the book where you've published your book. I want to see it on the about page of your website. So many people just talk about the factual, I've got this qualification, my program's 3-month coaching, I do. Where's you in that? Where do they connect to you and choose you over the other coach? These are elements that I'd love for you to hit in your story, in your bio, okay? What are you known for? I'm looking at the banners. I'm looking like Dom over here. He's a transformation specialist, right? That's what you're known for. Stress expert. Do you have something, a terminology that people either get because they understand it or get a bit intrigued by what does a transformation specialist do? What are you known for? Who do you help? The lady who was scared about speaking on stage? Don't worry, I don't have time, darling. Des asked you the first question, who's your audience? And what did you say? Everyone. Oh my God, that's the worst thing for anyone to say. And then he dug deeper and you went, oh, well, people with allergies, people that want to be healthier, right? You got really niched. If anyone ever says, everyone is my audience, nobody is your audience. Because you're not going to have that connection. They're not going to think, I've got allergies, I've got hay fever, how do I deal with that? Who do you help? This is the bit where you touch the people's hearts. What's your purpose? It's been touched on today, so I'm not going to go into this. What's your purpose? What's your mission? People want to be part of something much bigger than themselves. And not everybody has the courage to be that leader and do that. You guys in the room are here for a reason because you do have the courage. You've stepped out as the entrepreneur in business. You've got a purpose. But what a lot of you don't do is you don't tell people what that is. Innocent have their purpose on the side of every smoothie. So you know what you do when you buy that smoothie and you choose that one over that one. Market your message. What's your unique intellectual property is what IP stands for. I see some people at the back here. There's this Mind one, you've got 5 proven frameworks on your banner. That's your IP. Who here's heard of Stephen Covey? Okay, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That's his IP. That's his methodology. It stands you out if you have a framework. What's your qualifications and experience? For some, this is important. If I was going to a nutritionist, I'd want to see your nutritional qualifications. For some, the experience is much more important than the qualifications. I want to know that you've been in my situation. If I've got a baby that can't sleep, I want to know what you've done to help your baby sleep at night, because you're a parent. I don't want to just read it from a book of someone that's never had kids. Okay, so this is important. And the last thing is your testimonials on your results. Don't just tell me what you do. Tell me what result I get from working with you. Show me other people that have got the result that I'm longing for. Show me that it's possible. Then when you've got your story, this is how you use it. And you've just come back from lunch, right? So I'm quite interested to see this. When you're actually networking, don't do that verbal diarrhea and just someone says, ask what you do, and then half an hour later you've taken the first breath because you've just told them your whole autobiography and they just are like trying to escape. Yeah, you might have experienced that over lunch. Ask the question before you even say what you do. When someone goes, hey, what do you do? Well, if I was Mark, I might be, well, tell me, are you renting or do you own your own property at the moment? And they go, okay, I'm renting. So the next question that he would say was, would you want to learn how to get onto the market? Or would you want to learn how to buy your first house without putting any money down? And then they're already like, yeah, I'm interested in that. And then you can say, well, I'm a property expert. Rather than just going in for the kill. I said to you before I started this talk, if you're not a speaker, author, or coach, or you don't want to be, please feel free to leave. Because you are my audience. If you're in the room now and you're still seated, you're my audience. Get their buy-in before you have that conversation. Then, be a storyteller. Using Caroline as the example again. People don't want to hear linear facts. I studied here, I've got this qualification, I've been in it for 12 years. My coaching packages is 12 sessions. It's like boring. Take me on a journey with you. Let me understand why you do what you do, how you can help me, inspire me, and actually make them feel like they're being told a story, because we all love to be told stories. This is my second point. Know your avatar. Anyone in the room here that doesn't know what the word avatar means, and I don't mean the big blue people in the film. Avatar is probably the only jargon word that I use, and it just means your ideal client. The person that you're longing to work with. Not the person that when the phone rings, you look at it and go, oh, I really can't be bothered to speak to that person. They're so draining. You've experienced it, right? So it's the person that you love. I would say I would never have a client that I wouldn't have round to my house for dinner because I like them so much. They're my friends, right? So you've got to think, who's your ideal client? But don't use everybody. And don't just say, oh, I work with women. Because that's not specific enough. Your client needs to feel that you have surveillance cameras in their house. They're going to be like, how do you know? I just had that exact conversation with my husband last night. Or I was Googling that last week. How do you know what I'm asking? How do you know what my pain, my question, my aspirations are? You really get me, don't you? That's the type of conversations you want to be having with your avatar. And I want to give you an example. If I was somebody that worked with women, you would think you were my ideal audience, most of you. And I want to show you how knowing your avatar isn't as easy as that. So can everyone stand up, please? Everyone. I would love for you to sit down if you're not a woman. Okay? I would love for you to sit down if you don't have any children. I would love for you to sit down if you're not currently employed or self-employed. So you're not currently in a job or owning your own business. And then finally, I'd love for you to stay standing if you want to earn an additional stream of income. Okay, wait. Okay, so those people, everyone that's standing, look around. I'd probably say that's maybe about 10% of the room left standing, maybe 15. Thanks very much for that. So that's a demonstration that I could have made the blanket observation that because the majority of you are women, you're my target market. But if I was a coach that helped women get back into work after they'd had children, you wouldn't all have been my audience. It would have just been the people that were left standing that I would have wanted to speak to because I could help you specifically. So it's knowing what your avatar aspirations and pain points are so you can connect with them. And then what you can do is you can use that information and do Facebook Lives, do blogs. Your marketing copy on your website needs to talk to the pain and the scenarios that your avatar's actually living, not just the fact that of your services that you offer. You really need to connect with them so that they feel that you understand them. They feel that they can trust you, and that's predominantly because you've been there before, you've got the experience, or you've got the qualifications, or you can prove to them that you've got the results. And this is the killer. You care. They need to feel like you really care. And then you're not just doing this because it's a gap in the market. You're doing this because most of you in the room probably are your own avatar, just a few steps forward. You're doing what you're doing because you've got the results and you want to help other people get there too. So tell them that story. Then be unique. That's my last point. If I think about going back to that first slide, if I said someone like Tony Robbins, things automatically come into your head about him. He's massive, right? He's like 6 foot, nearly 7 foot. His deep bellowing voice, his white teeth, his maybe unleash the power within is his breakthrough program. So maybe it is his brand or his IP that stands out. You might have someone like Oprah. And when you think of Oprah, you think of just her TV show, her warm heart, the fact that she's one of the highest female earners in the planet. So these various things. Or Gary Vee was one of the people I put up. He was recently in London, who's a marketer. He swears a lot. He speaks really quickly. He's quite casual. So these are things that automatically pop into their head about when I say their name. What happens when someone mentions your name? What's the brand and the impression that you're leaving? What do people say about you when you're not in the room? Because that's your brand. That's the impact that you're having. And I want you to think about which speaker stood out for you so far. If you think back, we've had so many and we've still got so many to come. But what was it that stood out about them? Was it their style of delivery? I mean, Des is quite a funny guy, right? So was it the way that they delivered it? Was it the fact that they taught you something that you thought, I could use that? Was it the fact that their story emotionally connected to you and you were drawn to that person, you wanted to connect with them further? And I just want you to think about it. What is your uniqueness? What do people always say? I mean, you were awesome. I forgot your name, lady, sorry. You were just awesome when we first met, the impression you made, I mean, you look great as well, but just your whole attitude and mindset just exudes, right? And that will always remain in my memory for you because you stood out. So I want you to really, really craft this. I want you to think, what's your story? Who do you serve? And how are you memorable? What's your USP? As I said, I'm not here to sell anything today. I'm here to support you. I've set up with my business partner, Helena, the Connection Hub, which is a free Facebook group. Every week we do free training for you on how to build a business as a speaker, author, or coach on your terms. Please come and join. And the main thing is what I don't like about these events, and I see a lot, are seminar junkies. People that go, I see the same faces at the same events, and I go, hey, how have you been since last year? All good. Have you done anything? Please don't be those people. Take some action from today. Get the ROI of spending a whole day in a room when you could have been with your family or working or chilling out. Don't make this a waste of time. If you come into the Connection Hub, I'm challenging you to introduce yourself, video or post. I want to hear your story, I want to hear your avatar, who you serve, and I want to hear your USP. And I will personally give you feedback on your posts or your videos to say how you can refine it or improve it. That's my challenge for you, to take some action today. And I think I'm done.